Hello, internet. Didn't even get my mic in place. I'm sorry, folks, for the delay. I've been scrambling, slacking, guys. I'm still a little rusty. It's only my second show back. Oh, but Scarlett is right back on cue. She wants to say hi. You want to say hi to everybody? Okay. All right. How is everybody this evening? Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. Okay, Scarlett, you're so excited this evening. Full of love. Okay, can you go lay down? Oh, ball stomp. Can you go lay down? No, go lay down. Okay, that's good enough. All right, folks, how are we doing? Nice to see everybody. Let's check the chat. I'm sorry I'm late. I had some technical difficulties. Wally World, nice to see you. Thanks for joining over on Larry Sharp's show last night. That was fun. That was cool. Forest Mommy hung out too. That was very fun. Very fun show over on I was on a little panel last night with Larry Sharp. Sorry, frog in the throat. CC Pino, how you doing, buddy? Good. Eating steak? I love it. I've been eating poor man's steak lately. I like to just you guys are gonna think I'm weird. I like to just get like a pound of ground beef. I'm a big guy, okay? I eat a lot of food. I have to eat a lot of food. I get a pound of ground beef and I just make a giant burger patty and I season it with salt and pepper, and that's my steak. That's my steak. And I eat it with London Pub steak and chop sauce. If you guys aren't fans, the Brits don't do much food that's good. So that's probably why they have such good steak sauce, I think. London Pub steak and chop sauce is fantastic. It's the best stuff out there. I like to make eggs on toast. Just do fried eggs on toast, and I'll put London Pub steak and chop sauce all over it. It's delightful. Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. All right, let's see. Wally World. The other two guests were hotter than me. So Larry's more attractive than me as well. I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah, that was fun. Made a couple new friends last night. One's in Southern California, one's over there in Australia. So that was fun. And she's a gun person, so it's even better. Yeah, it was a very, very fun little panel that we did last night. We talked about what are the best ways to resist the tyranny that is happening all around us. And we just talked about the best ideas and best approaches towards doing that. It's a fun panel. Very fun panel. Hope to do it again soon. Maybe I can get Larry on my show too. So, all right. What do we got going on, folks? How's everybody? Anybody want to tell me about stuff that's exciting in the chat? I don't see anybody over there on Rumble. What's going on? Where are you guys on Rumble? I want to start off with saying Mark Coleman. Mark Coleman, UFC fighter, former heavyweight champion, amazing wrestler. The guy is just a gorilla. The guy is just an absolute brick shithouse, even at his age today. Well, Mark is in the hospital with, I think, some very, very serious injuries. From my understanding, he ran into a burning house and saved two people. They might be his parents. I'm not positive on that, but this is just what I heard. I haven't dug into it too much. I DM'd him just telling him how much I appreciate him, how amazing he is, but he ran back in to get the dog. And I guess he passed out from smoke inhalation and almost died. And I guess from my understanding, the dog didn't make it either. So that's super sad. Mark Coleman, it's just, I've always been a fan of his. He's an amazing fighter, all around good guy. You hear him talk, coaching, mentoring other people. He's just a fantastic guy. And then, it goes from me being a fan to, all right, you're a hero. Like, the guy is just an absolute hero. It takes a very, very special type of person that's willing to run into a burning building to save a dog. He already saved people. I mean, that's heroic is the only word you can use to describe that. It's just, a lot of people's worst fear is burning to death. And there's risking your life, and then there's risking your life for one of the worst possible ways to go. And that's what Mark did. So if you guys get a chance, he could use some prayers. Give him some shout outs or whatever you guys can. Just Mark Coleman, keep him in your thoughts. He's a real hero. So we got plenty of stuff to talk about tonight. I'm going to start off with California stuff just because we didn't really get into it last show, but plenty of California shenanigans to talk about. Before I get started, if you guys want to hit that like button, if you're watching over on Twitter, the repost thing greatly helps, all that kind of stuff. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm streaming over on YouTube, streaming on Rumble, streaming on the X platform. And this is what I do now. This is it. This is my career now. I'm this is what I'm doing. So if you want to support the show, best way to do it is give a thumbs up. Maybe tell a friend about it. Record the show onto VHS and send it to your grandparents. Maybe they'll watch it. Whatever you want to do. All right, folks, let's get into some stuff I want to talk about. We'll start talking about California. What do you want, Scarlett? What? No, go lay down. Go lay down, Mama. It's daylight savings time now, folks, and I can you can see the trees behind me once again. It's nice. It's kind of nice. I like it. I like it when the sun stays out longer. I don't have to scramble to get my runs in anymore. So, all right, well, let's go over to Wall Street Apes. We're going to talk about some California election stuff. Let's see. CC Pino, yeah. Mark Coleman, absolute hero. Haiti, question mark. I don't know. Haiti is there's a lot going on over there, but I have a suspicion it's not what we are being led to believe that's going on over there. I'm not going to say I have no clue. I'm not certain about anything, but as soon as the corporate press starts saying things in unison that are all the same stuff and they're trying to paint some sort of narrative, I immediately distrust what they're saying. And I think it's probably the opposite that's true. So I'm super skeptical. Skeptical? Is that a word? Skeptical? I'm really skeptical, guys. Well, I'm really skeptical about what they are saying about this barbecue guy. I mean, I don't know. I've heard him talk, and he does not seem to be the crazy. What I'm blanking on the name. What do they call it when they eat people again? I want to say carnivore, but that's definitely not the word for it. What? Come on, somebody put it in the chat. How am I blanking on this name? It's probably a good idea that I'm cannibal. Hannibal the cannibal. I had to remember it that way. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen the videos of the people eating human bodies. I've seen it, but I'm being told some of these videos aren't current. They're not even from Haiti because they're not speaking Creole. So I don't know. You kind of got to take everything with a grain of salt that we're seeing out there right now. I'm not trying to say that I know what's going on or present any sort of idea that I think's happening out there. Thanks, Paul. Yes, cannibals. But the media is definitely trying to paint this in a certain light, and I am immediately distrusting of it. So, yeah, well, make of it what you will. But we'll get into that a little bit later. We are going to talk about Haiti tonight, but I want to start off with California shenanigans. We're going to talk about elections. Is what we're going to start off talking about. And I will say my election has only been, what is it? It's like 65% of the vote has been counted. It's just how? Like, why? Why is this happening? Why, when we have a month to vote, they start counting the votes before election day even happens, and then you have all election day to count the votes. Why are we a week later, a week and a day after elections, and they've still only counted 65% of the vote? And I want to be very clear. I'm not implying that I was robbed of anything. I don't think I was. I only got 2% of the vote, but it's very suspect. Why can't you just get the damn ballots counted? It's like they're taking big, long breaks. I don't know. It's absolute shenanigans. So let's go over to Wall Street Apes right here. And he is saying, well, this is going to be the most rigged election in history. Republican voter in so goodbye YouTube channel, and I don't care. So if you guys are watching over on YouTube, I don't know if this will go dark in a while, but yeah, I talk about whatever I want. And I don't care if YouTube nukes my channel because, yeah. Anyway. Okay. So Wall Street Ape says this is going to be the most rigged election in history. Republican voter in California who lives there his whole life has been scrubbed from the voter rolls and has his receipts to prove it. They even told him he wasn't a registered voter. But wait, you know what? You know what the best part is? When I went in to go vote, they didn't have me. Okay, so he's just quoting him. Let's just watch the video here. So this is from Wall Street Apes. Let's go to the beginning here. All right, let's see what this gentleman has to say. This is a Californian, so fellow Californian. Let's see what he has to say about the voter rolls and the shenanigans.
But wait, you know what the best part is? When I went to go vote, they didn't have me. I wasn't a registered voter. I've lived in California my whole life. I voted in California my whole life. I've been voting in LA since 2005. I had to file a provisional ballot in order to vote today. They just didn't have any copy of me. They used my driver's license number, my social security number, the last four of my social. So look me up in the system. No record of a Luke David Johnson with my birthday, just scrubbed. And this receipt they gave me, this is my receipt. That's how you know I voted. So it's in a pink envelope in a separate bin. The utter confidence I have voting in Los Angeles, it's just amazing. You know, I feel really privileged as an American to have the freedom to have my information tracked so well by the state of California. And you're telling me, trust the mail-in ballots, Luke? What's wrong with you? Why don't you trust the mail-in ballots that you didn't get because you're not on the voter registration rolls anymore?
Well, he was kind of funny. Kind of a funny guy. So, yeah, what do you guys make of that? I mean, scrubs of the voter rolls. I don't know. It's how are so many people are like, well, you can go online and check if your ballot's been counted and stuff and all that. How are people supposed to verify that, you know, one for one votes have been counted in the way they were supposed to be counted? It's just it's all on faith. It's Californians are supposed to just have faith in there's no way to check. From my understanding, if you guys know of any way to check if they are legitly counting the votes, is that a word? Legitly? If they are really counting the votes the way they're supposed to be counted, and we're just supposed to take them at their word. You know, meanwhile, I say it every show, mail-in ballots, no voter ID. Just that right there. Just those two things is insane. You don't need an ID to vote. Just mail-in ballots, no voter ID. Then we have ballot harvesting, right? You got a whole month to vote. You can drop your ballots just in a drop box. Yeah, there's all sorts of shenanigans. There's stuff I'm just blanking on right now. But, and from my understanding, and it's been like this since I think 94, is all you have to do is check a box that says, yes, I am a United States citizen. It's just it's the honor system. If you want to vote, you just got to, make sure you're not lying, guys. And I think the DMV, pretty sure, fact check me on this, just automatically registers people to vote. Just automatically register them. It's like, well, how do they know what party affiliation they're with? California is insanely shady. And how are we supposed to trust these? So if you don't have paper ballots and you voted in one day, in my opinion, you don't have an election. It's something else. Whatever you want to call this thing that California does, it's not an election. How is anybody supposed to trust this as a Californian? And then there's the whole census thing, you know, so they count everybody on the census, including illegal immigrants, and California is supposed to get more congressional seats because of this. The whole thing is so screwed up. It's so in your face shady. It looks horrible. So so we'll continue. More California shenanigans. I don't think this next one's about voting. We'll get off the voter stuff for now. Yeah, this is a graphic I want to show that this is kind of insane. This is all the businesses that have closed in downtown San Francisco. So look at all these businesses, and they're all pretty centrally located. Did you look at this? So, I mean, Arc'teryx, Marmot. That's funny. Just the first two stores I see happen to be outdoor wear. That was my first career, guys. Well, my first job, I should say. Worked at the North Face in Any Mountain. Yeah, I worked at REI briefly too. But Arc'teryx, Marmot, this is really high-end outerwear. Amazon Go, Office Depot, Cinemark. Sorry, not Skinamax. Anthropologie, the Hilton, DSW, Abercrombie and Finch, Nordstrom's. That was a huge one when Nordstrom's closed. The Whole Foods that wasn't even open for that long. All sorts of stuff. You guys see all these businesses have closed, and look at how centrally located they all are. And if you talk to, I like what my buddy Seneca likes to call them, soggies. If you talk to the soggy progressives around the area, like they'll try to gaslight you and say it's because of complex socioeconomic issues. It's not really because of the crime and stuff. There isn't a direct correlation. And they won't be able to explain to you what these complex socioeconomic issues are because they'll act like you're not smart enough to handle it when in reality they're just too dumb to explain it. Or it's actually because there isn't any complex socioeconomic issues for why these stores closed down. They closed down because of rampant theft and crime. Guys, you guys already know this though. I don't need to explain this to you. It's just super frustrating. All right. Well, next California thing. I'm trying to rush through stuff tonight because I got a lot of stuff I want to cover and I only want to do an hour. I'll probably end up doing closer to 90 minutes, but yeah, I'm going to try to rush through stuff here. So this next one, it's almost so ridiculous that I think it has to be a troll. This has to be fake. This can't possibly be real. So, oops, I guess I can't do that. That's weird. Okay, yeah, this one. Sorry. Okay. So this lady can't possibly be serious with what she's talking about here. So she's trying to say that we should have a $50 minimum wage, $50 an hour. So you guys know I've never made $50 an hour in my life. I made $49 an hour at my last company. That's what I made, $49 an hour. And even I'm in the union now. So my last job was non-union. I went on what's called honorary withdrawal from the IBEW. I'm sound and communications guy. I'm on book 1, number 8 right now, but there's no job calls. COVID destroyed everybody's working from home, and the vast majority of work for trades in the Bay Area came from the tech companies. They were always moving stuff around, changing floor configurations, building conference rooms, building video walls, all that kind of stuff. That's what I did. And then when COVID happened, well, obviously everybody got sent home. That work completely dried up and it just hasn't come back. So I left the union and I went on honorary withdrawal. And then I went and took a job with a residential company. And I was doing super high-end AV stuff in people's homes. Ironically, the people that owned these tech companies. And well, you guys know the story with that. I don't work for them anymore. So I'm back at the union. I don't even know if union sound and communication guys are making $50 an hour. This is $50 an hour is insane. That's $100 a year. You want fast food workers making $50 an hour. Okay, just listen to this crazy woman talk. She's got to be joking.
$50 minimum wage. If you think it's impossible, let me tell you right now, Barbara Lee has just introduced this policy into the Senate in California. She is running to be California's senator, and we will be voting for her. She is the only person running. She's running against Adam Schiff and Katie Porter to support a ceasefire, unequivocally, ceasefire from day one, free Palestine from day one, and now she just introduced $50 minimum wage. She is my girl because she is pushing the overtone window in the correct direction. And of course, the media is already painting her as like, ooh, is she too far left? Like, is she going to make it? She'll make it if we vote for her. I am so sick and tired of neutral, lukewarm Democrats running off of like their sadness over Trump and basically nothing else. I want a Spitfire black woman from Oakland to come out guns blazing.
Has anyone looked at Oakland recently? You want someone from Oakland. You want an Oakland politician representing California right now? Have you looked at Oakland? What sucks is, I mean, you guys know my opinion on the whole Israel-Palestine thing right now. And I actually do support a ceasefire. Yeah, I know. You guys, most of the right doesn't agree with me on this. But yeah, I'm not down with what's happening in Gaza right now. I'm not down with it at all. The thing is, these leftists that are closing down bridges and doing protests here, and they seem to care more about what's going on over in Palestine than they do what's happening right here in California. They drive me insane. These leftists drive me absolutely insane. And she's talking in this way that's like so matter of fact, like everyone should agree with her. It's just such pie in the sky crap. $50 an hour. I don't even triggered.
With $50 minimum wage, because that is what we need to survive. Let's start the conversation there. Let's start the conversation at $50 minimum wage, and then maybe we can back it up if you have something better to offer. Anyway, Californians, March 5th is our election. Do not forget to vote for Barbara Lee.
Yeah, Barbara Lee didn't do well. probably because of that kind of nonsense. Like, what the hell are you thinking? Okay, let's continue. So it's just so frustrating. Okay. Okay, so this is from Mike Netter over here. I'll go ahead and share it. So he says California minimum wage for fast food restaurants is about to go to $20 per hour, except for the chains that bake bread and sell it as a standalone item. So you guys heard about this, right? That's according to a report from Bloomberg. There aren't very many major restaurant chains that fit that description, except for Panera Bread, which has a franchise in California, who is close to Governor Newsom, Gary Flynn, the largest restaurant franchisee in the U.S., if not the world, Bloomberg reports. And he went to high school with Gavin Newsom. He gave $100,000 to Newsom during his 2021 recall election and $64,800 in the 2022 general election. So, and what was like, how did they carve this out again? Chains that bake bread and sell it as a standalone item. Okay, so sorry, Subway, not you, because you guys fill the bread with meat and you don't sell it by itself. So, I mean, if Subway was smart, they'd be like, okay, we're going to start selling our bread as just, by itself. And they should. Subway absolutely should. They make their own bread in-house, so they should start selling. Yeah, you want to take the loaves of bread home with you? You can absolutely do that now. Gavin Newsom backpedaled on this and he tried to say, well, that's how the sausage was made. There's a negotiation back and forth. And he tried to spin it like this wasn't a specific carve out for his buddy over there at Panera Bread. It's just super annoying. So Wally World, let's see. Are there any stores left in downtown San Francisco? Yeah, but people are just hanging on for dear life. Am I even streaming over on Rumble? What's going on over there? Let's see. I need to check on Rumble because it's just a little too quiet over there. All right, it looks like I am. So I don't know. I guess so. All right. Yeah, if you guys are come on, Rumble folks, jump in the Rumble chat and say hi to me. Yeah, so Panera Bread. They're clearly being helped out by Mr. Newsom over there. Danger. Nice to see you. Taco Bell in Oakland, it's drive-through only now. Taco Bell in Oakland. That's after In-N-Out is leaving. Yeah, all the stores are leaving Oakland as well. But yeah, I made a joke about drive-throughs in Oakland. They should all be called drive-bys. It's just, I think all the drive-throughs in Oakland should be called drive-bys. Yeah, no more indoor dining for Taco Bell. It's whatever. It is what it is. All right, let's keep going. It's California shenanigans. Yep, Amara. What the? Okay, I've already been talking way too long about the California stuff. So let's go over to Gavin's talking mouthpiece over here. I talk so much crap to this is Alex Mickelson. If you guys know him, I think his last name is Mickelson. Alex, not Alex. Alex with the E. And he always talks. That's why I love Twitter, is because like I talk shit to Barbara Streisand the other day, and there's a non-zero chance that she saw me talking crap to her. And that's why I love that platform so much. You can say something, you call people out, and there's a good chance they're going to see it. And Alex always reads my comments because he responds all the time with like, how am I being one-sided on this? And if you guys know this dude, Alex, I don't hate the guy, but he's clearly a lefty, and he's clearly not coming to Gavin's defense, but you could totally see which direction he leans. But let's see what Gavin Newsom responded to the whole Panera Bread allegations. So let's see what Gavin had to say, shall we?
There's a big controversy in California politics tonight over whether Panera Bread got a sweetheart deal from the state of California after a campaign donation, or whether all this is just a big misunderstanding. This week, Bloomberg reported that Panera Bread would not have to raise workers' wages to $20 an hour like most fast food restaurants in.
Oh, Nate, over on Rumble. Nate Pickens, you're saying so a restaurant can't start selling bread to be part of the exemption. They had to be already selling bread prior to the bill's passage. Wow. Okay, so they really thought that one through. So, yeah, this was so clearly carved out specifically for Panera because, I mean, everybody'd be able to do it. McDonald's would be like, all right, we're selling our buns now by themselves. Oh, wow. Oh, thanks for telling me that, Nate. I didn't know that part of it. Wow, that is funny. Okay, let's listen to Gavin's mouthpiece.
In California under a new law signed by Gavin Newsom. Why? Well, apparently there's an exception written into that law for restaurants that bake and sell their own bread. If all that's true, it could save Greg Flynn hundreds of thousands of dollars. He owns more than 24 Paneras and has donated significant funds to Governor Gavin Newsom's political campaigns over the years. Republican leaders in Sacramento say this deal should be officially investigated. But tonight, the governor's office is firing back with this statement from spokesman Alex Stack. Quote, Governor never met with Flynn about this bill, and this story is absurd. Our legal team has reviewed, and it appears Panera is not exempt from the law. He is suggesting that they don't qualify for that bread baking exemption, which is written into the law.
Why are convenience restaurants not fast food, but McDonald's is? It seems to me like the state legislature just wants to pick on McDonald's. You do the same thing in both places. More than that, convenience restaurants have a higher price point and then sit-downs even further up. They can better afford to pay $20 an hour than a fast food franchisee can. Right. It seems to me to be really bad economics to set the minimum wage in a staggered fashion in this way.
You're calling.
And just to be clear, I don't believe there should be a minimum wage at all. Just no minimum wage. Shouldn't be set by the federal government. Shouldn't even be set by state governments. Yeah, not even municipalities, I don't think. I think wages should be determined by the worker and the employer and negotiated in that way. Yeah, sue me.
For a $50 an hour federal minimum wage. That's 7 times the current national minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. Can you explain how that would be economically sustainable for small businesses?
So just do the math. Just do the math. Of course, we have national minimum wages that we need to raise to a living wage. You're talking about $20, $25, fine. But I have got to be focused on what California needs and what the affordability factor is when we calculate this wage.
Good luck with that.
I mean, even that dirtbag Adam Schiff was looking over like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? You crazy lady. McGarvey is just stone-faced looking forward because he doesn't take a position on anything. But what are you thinking? Okay. So yeah, Gavin's team is saying that nope. Panera Bread, they're gonna have to do the $20 minimum wage thing too. So they're saying it's preposterous, how inconceivable, and I'm sure it's gonna be one of those things where they just say that to get people off their backs, and then once the time comes, Mr. Panera Bread over there is not actually going to have to pay his employees what he says. So, okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going here. All right. With more absolute California insanity, let's go. This is, I mean, I think you guys probably already heard about this, but this is from Assemblywoman Kate Sanchez. Let's see what district is she out of. So she's out of the 71st district. That's, I don't know what area that represents, but she's a California Assemblywoman, and she says, bad bill alert. California Dems are pushing a bill for illegal immigrants convicted of violent felonies to receive taxpayer-funded legal aid and avoid deportation. AB 2031 is completely unacceptable. Why do they want to prioritize immigrant rapists and murderers over everyone else? So, and yeah, you guys can look this up. AB 2031. Like, look it up. It changes the language of the law that, yeah, they're going to provide criminal defense attorneys, like they would provide anybody else for violent crimes and felonies and not deport them. It's completely contrary to everything I say about the deporting illegal immigrants. So one of the things that I majorly disagree with Trump on is he talks about having like the biggest deportation campaign that ever in history, right? And a lot of people are like, yeah, sounds good. And it's okay. Well, how does that work out in reality? How do you make that happen? I mean, without massively expanding the government and create brown shirt gangs that are going around asking people for their papers and targeting people that look brown. How are you going to legitimately pull that off? And all he really says is just have a massive deportation campaign. Okay, you still have the welfare state in place that incentivizes everybody to come here. So, I mean, it's like having a hole in your boat and just pouring the water out without ever actually fixing the hole in the boat. How is this going to work? So, first steps first, you got to end all of the welfare state stuff. I mean, I don't even think it should be ended for illegal immigrants. I think it should end it across the board. But that's a different conversation. But why are we incentivizing people to come here? They shouldn't be getting first-time homeowner loans. They want to do that for illegal immigrants. They want to give them home loans to buy homes in a state, in a country that they're not even supposed to be in, that they came here illegally. It's insane. They really want to do that too. So yes, first-time homeowner loans for illegal immigrants. All the other programs, work visa, well, not work visas, but identification, being able to get driver's license and insurance, that kind of crap, and allowing people to work. You're also, when you allow somebody to work in California, but they're illegal, so they can't like really pay federal taxes. It's kind of this weird gray area. You're creating a black market. And yeah, so how do you have a mass deportation campaign without fixing the underlying issues? So you first have to end the welfare state for illegal immigrants. And then I still don't think we should have a mass deportation campaign. Well, kind of. Everyone that once you end all the incentives to come here, you're also going to have people leaving because they're going to be like, okay, well, I was better off in the country I came here from. And I can't be sending money back home anyway, so I might as well leave. You're going to get a lot of people that just leave on their own. You're going to get people that stop coming here. You're going to get people that leave on their own. And then if you say, hey, if you get caught so much as jaywalking and you're an illegal immigrant, you're gone. If you get busted, you're gone. Then you don't need any additional resources. You're just enforcing the law at that point. And then, you realize they're an illegal immigrant. All right, bye-bye, gone. So you're not expanding the government. You're not putting any additional money, any additional resources into it. You're getting people to leave on their own. And then once they in addition to ending the welfare state to get people to leave on their own, you are telling people like, look, if you get busted, you are going to get arrested, serve your time, and then you're going back, or however they want to work it out. They just want to deport them right off the bat. But that would be my plan for how to first stop the bleeding and then start, healing the wound, if you will. So, yeah, but instead, California wants to offer illegal immigrants funding for when they commit a violent crime. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So, all right, what are you guys' thoughts on that? It's nuts. So, danger, then you cut off the money, so there's no more incentives for them to come here. Exactly. Yes, exactly. It's not rocket surgery. It's not complicated. So, yeah, I don't like the idea of massively expanding government to have these mass deportation campaigns. And I almost think that's part of the Democrats' plan with all of this is, if Trump gets into office, then all of a sudden he starts doing the whole Gestapo thing, asking people for their papers, having big roundups of people. They get to point and say, look, he's doing the Nazi thing. Like, I think that's part of the plan. So, yeah, I think he's got to be much more tactful about the way he goes about this. So that's even if they let him in office, which I think there is zero chance of happening. I think there's zero chance the Democrats let Trump back into office. They didn't fix any of the shenanigans with the elections. I mean, the only difference now, which is a huge difference, is people are allowed to speak freely on Twitter. That is a gigantic difference. That's how they rigged the elections last time. Not even talking about any crazy ballot harvesting or voter fraud or anything like that. Just talking about how they rigged the elections through the manipulation of information. They suppressed things about the vaccine. They suppressed things about the Hunter Biden laptop, the Tara Reade story, all that stuff. You weren't allowed to talk about it. You'd get kicked off the internet. They still do that on a bunch of platforms, but you got this rogue guy. You got this rogue South African named Elon that decided to buy Twitter and give people a voice again. You know, yes, there's still problems over there. Don't get me started. I'm very annoyed that. Did you guys know that I applied for subscriptions back in, I believe it was January of 2023. You apply for, you just fill out an application to get for subscriptions, and you have like what your monthly charge is going to be, and people can subscribe to you and they can pay monthly, and you offer extra content or whatever you plan on doing. Well, tons of people have been waiting forever, and I would just go back and I would check my application every now and then to see what the status was of it. I checked like 6 weeks ago to see what my application status was. It wasn't there anymore. My application had disappeared. It said, you are eligible for subscriptions. Do you want to apply for subscriptions? I'm like, what? I already applied. I've been waiting over a year. They made me apply again. So I feel like I'm never going to get approved for subscriptions on this platform that I'm streaming on, Elon. It's so absurd. And I'm not the only one that's been waiting forever, but it's super frustrating because you guys that know my situation, it would kind of help. It'd kind of help, especially since I'm trying to make this. I love doing this, you guys. I love podcasting, but the prep for it, it takes a lot. I have to try to be up to speed on all the stuff, and yeah, I like doing this, and I would love to make it my career. And if they approve my application, that sure would help. All right, I'll stop complaining. Let's see. Yep, more California stuff to keep going on. Damn it, I'm not going to get through all the stuff I want to get through tonight. I haven't even got to my first segment, and it's already almost 45 minutes in. Okay, well, this is what happens on the streets of San Francisco. I talk about it all the time, but I want to show you a quick video. This is commonplace. You will see this not just in San Francisco, in anywhere that there's fentanyl being sold. You'll see this type of thing. So pay special attention to this guy's feet. I'm off under that blanket, but it's more just look at his feet. You see this? So look above his, like where his sock would end on both legs. So he has open wounds, and it looks like his flesh is rotting away, because it is. Because this isn't fentanyl that they're on. This is horse tranquilizer that they cut the fentanyl with. Horses have much higher muscle mass than us. The human body can't handle it, and it quite literally starts eating away at your flesh, like skin necrosis, like a bite from a wolf spider or brown recluse or something like that. It's like skin necrosis. It's disgusting, and it stinks, and it's probably extremely painful. And the drug they're on is highly addictive, so they just keep doing it. It's disgusting what we are allowing to occur on the streets. Tell me that this person wouldn't be better off being thrown in jail for 30 days, 60 days, whatever it is. And people say, that's not the best way to detox. They just go right back to it when they get out of jail. That might be, but 30 days in jail, they're not going to be doing the drugs for 30 days. And their wound is going to get a little bit of a chance to start healing. And there's a chance people will have some time to reflect while they're in there. And they're going to detox. The stuff's going to get completely out of their system. It's gonna suck for like a week. They're going to be going through nasty withdrawals, but they're going to go through that. They're going to go through the withdrawals. They're going to detox. They're going to be clean and clear-minded for the most part, and they're going to be able to start healing. Yeah, the jail is the best way to do it. We should have dedicated centers for it if possible, but we don't. How is this better for this individual to let him rot away on the sidewalk? How is this compassionate for anybody? It's disgusting what we're allowing to happen. This man would be much better off being arrested and put in jail. Yeah. And I talked about this on Larry Sharp's show last night. Believe it or not, you guys, I think all drugs should be legalized. Not allowed to be consumed on the street, but if there were stores that sold drugs and the stores were regulated, not even so much the drugs, because if you go to a store, is this regulated? Are these drugs regulated? They're just at the mercy of whatever drug dealers are selling them, the Hondos, that are also illegal immigrants here from Honduras that are linked to the cartels, who are protected by the police because they'll be released within 48 hours if they're arrested. Judges will just let them go, even if they get busted with a big old stack of cash, a scale, separated drugs. They're just going to let go. Right. Just let go. So the cops don't even arrest them anymore. And then if San Franciscans are going to go and be like, you know, we don't like these dealers, we're going to go take care of them ourselves. And they go and they crack them in the knees. Well, the cops are going to arrest those people. That's anarcho-tyranny. That's the drug dealers being protected by the police. It's the perfect example of anarcho-tyranny. If they legalize drugs across the board and it was set up like any other business where you can have drug stores that sell heroin, cocaine, fentanyl, whatever, if they sold all that stuff and they allowed the market to dictate it, well, people are probably not going to be using fentanyl nearly as much because other better drugs are going to be available. The drugs are going to be cleaner. And if somebody's claiming that they're selling fentanyl and they're actually selling tranq, well, the word's going to get around like, hey, that guy's got the bad stuff. Don't go to that store. That store's not going to make it. They're going to close up. The market would actually take care of a lot of these problems if we legalize drugs. I know, especially a lot of conservatives and Republicans hate that idea, but when you really think about it, it would solve a lot of these problems. Ron Paul goes back saying, you know, there's a famous video of him where they're talking about legalizing drugs and everybody's like, you just want to be a pothead, this and that. He's like, I don't even do drugs. I've never smoked pot. And me, I don't do drugs. I'm super straight edge. Like, I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't smoke pot. Used to quite a bit. I don't anymore. I'm pretty much straight edge. All I drink is caffeine. It's horrible. But the point that Ron Paul was making, he was like, okay, all right. So you guys think it's just because I want drugs to be legal and I want it to be crazy anarchy everywhere. Let me ask you a question. If they legalized all drugs overnight, how many of you guys out there would just go start doing cocaine? Nobody raised their hand. It's like, well, yeah, because you have ownership of yourself and you personally don't want to go do cocaine. So you're not going to. So that's my legalized drugs argument, if you will. So just wanted to show you that guy because it's bad. Let's see. Danger. They will let him in, then unleash hell on this country. What's that? Talking about Gavin? What are you talking about? Then you cut off the money. Oh, you're talking about people that they let to the border? Yeah. Well, okay, let's keep going. Almost to the California stuff. I shouldn't start off with the California stuff because I just it's the stuff I know the most about and I talk the most about because I love this state, even with how horrible it's become. So let's keep going here. So this, from my understanding, I thought this was in San Francisco. It's not, because I thought this guy, Kevin, was from San Francisco, but apparently this is up in Canada, but it's the same idea. It's what Dean Preston wants to do in the Tenderloin. It's what they want to do over in Colorado right now. It's these safe injection sites that they're talking about. So let's take a look at what one of these safe injection sites looks like, shall we? This is not easy to watch, guys. This is a government-funded place where people can come and do drugs. So take a look. Safe injection sites. And the drugs are still illegal drugs, not with a marketplace of drugs where there's competition and people are getting good, clean drugs. This is still, whatever the drug dealers give them. And this is what it looks like.
No.
Northside says there's a lot of drugs that are relatively harmless that would become more frequently used if drugs were illegal. And that's probably right. People would probably wean off the really hard stuff and use stuff that's, less potent. Oh, look at this. This is a government facility.
I'll turn around.
This is hell on earth, you guys.
This is Metallica. Remember them?
Yeah.
That was a good band, brother.
He realizes that they know he's recording, so he's just trying to say something to distract them. But now that he says that, I do hear Kirk Hammett soloing in the background.
Totally fucking turn around.
So it seems like even he's lost in there. This is a sober guy that got lost, can't even figure out his way out. Imagine what it's like. This is hell on earth. You guys ever seen Train Spotting? That's what this reminds me of. This train is the movie Train Spotting.
What's the rest of these? I just hurt my tooth.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, it's just horrific, absolutely horrific. I can't believe I've almost done an hour already. Man, that was just California stuff. All right, well, I'll keep going. We'll stop sharing this segment. I'll be done with this segment. Yeah, that's enough California stuff for tonight. But I have 6 other topics lined up. 5 other topics lined up that I wanted to talk about, but probably not going to be able to. So let's get into we'll get into the creepy Uncle Joe stuff. So got to talk about the big guy. Let's see. Danger. They will let Trump become president and will unleash Antifa on the cities. I don't know, man. I don't know. I do not see them letting him back in office. I don't see it at all. I see very bad things on the horizon. Northside official glue sniffing zone. That's not funny, Northside. Man. Yeah, that's just... That was so depressing watching that right there. All right, let's keep going. Let's talk about the big guy, shall we? Got Uncle Joe. So they're doing this, what are they calling it? This House Judiciary Committee. Well, they're interviewing, what's his last name? Robert Hur. They're interviewing him. Not interviewing, they're questioning him. I'm not sure if he's under oath, but all this stuff does not look good. So yeah, let's jump over to this is Destiny on X. Let's jump over to his video here. Let's see what Uncle Joe has to say. Yeah, all this Joe Biden stuff is not looking good. So let's watch a straight up contradiction, shall we?
I did not share classified information. I did not share it. With my ghostwriter, I did not. Guarantee you did not.
We also identified other recorded conversations during which Mr. Biden read classified information aloud to his ghostwriter.
Huh. Weird. I just heard him say that he didn't do that. Weird. Okay. Let's keep going. So this is from the same person here and interviewing the same person. This is insane. It's insane how many classified documents Joe Biden had in different places. And remember, this is from when he was a vice president. Trump, being president, in theory, can declassify anything that he wants. The vice president can't do that. He just took these documents and put them in different places because he considered himself a historical figure and he wanted to be able to tell his story and sell books. This is insane. It's insane. And they're going after Trump for the exact same thing, except Trump was president and he could declassify documents. It's insane.
So you have audio recording from his ghostwriter where the president acknowledges that the information he has is classified and he's sharing with his ghostwriter.
We have an audio recording capturing a statement from Mr. Biden saying to his ghostwriter in February of 2017, quote, "I just found all the classified stuff downstairs," end quote.
And then again, reciting passages from a meeting in this situation.
Yes,
And those are in President Biden's own words,
correct.
right? So and the ghostwriter has no classified, he has no clearance, no classified clearance to anything, correct?
That is our understanding, that Mr. Zwanitzer was not authorized to receive classified information.
So you have
Okay. So we'll keep going. Just yeah. This is the same dude questioning her about all the different locations that Joe Biden had these documents. Remember, Joe's not supposed to have any of these documents.
Mr. Hur, classified documents were found at the Penn Biden Center.
That's correct.
They were found in President Biden's garage
In Wilmington, Delaware, yes.
and in his basement den
Also in the same home, yes.
and his main floor office
Correct.
and his third floor den
Correct.
at the University of Delaware
Correct.
and at the Biden Institute.
Correct.
Mr. Hur, classified documents were found at the Penn Biden Center.
That's correct.
They were found in President Biden's garage
In Wilmington, Delaware, yes.
and in his basement den
Also in the same home, yes.
and his main floor office
Correct.
and his third floor den
Correct.
at the University of Delaware
Correct.
and at the Biden Institute.
Correct.
Okay. He's not supposed to have any of these documents, you guys. He's got them everywhere. Everywhere. Here's another clip. So this is from Laura Maga over on the X platform, and she says Hur knows Biden has committed a crime. That's why he's blaming it on his memory loss. Biden took these documents willfully and knowingly. He never had the authority to do so. He violated the Espionage Act. No excuse for that. If he can remember or not, he committed a crime. If Biden is in such severe mental decline, like her claims, he should be barred from running for office. So yeah, they're in quite a pickle right now because they're trying to say at the same time, Biden is perfectly lucid, perfectly capable of running the country. And then out of the other side of their mouth, they're saying, no, he's clearly in cognitive decline, so he can't be held responsible. And this goes back to the whole Hillary thing where, was there intent behind what she did? And that's what they're trying to say. He's too senile, so there was no intent. That's not the way the law was written from my understanding, but let's listen to this clip.
My task was to determine whether the president retained or disclosed national defense information willfully.
No, I don't think that's what your task was. I think it was just if he did it or not.
That means knowingly and with the intent to do something the law forbids. I could not make that determination without assessing the president's state of mind. For that reason, I had to consider the president's memory.
But aren't we talking about 7 years ago? So isn't his current state of mind different from his state of mind 7 years ago? Because that's a big difference when it comes to cognitive decline. So it feels like you're trying to use his current mental capacity to judge whether he committed a crime or not because he was too senile and applying that to 7 years ago. That seems like what you're trying to do here.
Memory and overall mental state, and how a jury likely would perceive his memory and mental state in a criminal trial. And because these issues were important to my ultimate decision, I had to include a discussion of them in my report to the Attorney General. The evidence and the president himself put his memory squarely at issue. We interviewed the president and asked him about his recorded statement. Quote, I just found all the classified stuff downstairs, end quote. He told us that he didn't remember saying that to his ghostwriter. He also said he didn't remember finding any classified material in his home after his vice presidency. And he didn't remember anything about how classified documents about Afghanistan made their way into his garage. My assessment in the report about the relevance of the president's memory was necessary and accurate and fair. Most importantly, what I wrote is what I believe the evidence shows and what I expect jurors would perceive and believe.
Yeah, sort of feels like you're running cover for him, but, who am I to judge? Okay, let's see what what Mr. Byron has to say. Let's go over to Byron Donalds. I thought it was Daniels. Okay, let's go over to Congressman Byron Donalds here and see what he was on Fox News. So I try not to use Fox News because I don't like them very much. But let's see what Mr. Donalds has to say. Sorry about my video feed. Thanks for telling me. Danger.
House oversight and House Judiciary are doing our jobs. We are requesting the information from the special counsel on his investigation into Joe Biden. And let's be clear, this is not about Joe Biden's activities during his presidency. It is the fact that he did take classified information from a secure facility when he was vice president and when he was a United States senator. Both are a violation of the Espionage Act. And having a poor memory does not absolve you from violating the Espionage Act. Being old and elderly does not absolve you from violating the Espionage Act. And so once again, you see the two-tier system of justice against Donald Trump simply because he is the Republican nominee and he is actually the person that would blunt the radical Democrat agenda. So what do the Democrats do? Weaponize the Department of Justice, go after their political rival. It is fascism here in the United States brought to us by Joe Biden and the Democrats. House oversight and House Judiciary are doing our jobs. We are requesting the information from the special counsel on his investigation into Joe Biden. And let's be clear, this is not about Joe Biden's activities during his presidency. It is the fact that he did take classified information from a secure facility when he was vice president and when he was a United States senator. Both are a violation of the Espionage Act. And having a poor memory does not absolve you from violating the Espionage Act. Being old and elderly does not absolve you from violating the Espionage Act. And so once again, you see the two-tier system of justice against Donald Trump simply because he is the Republican nominee.
Oh, sorry, I played that twice, didn't I? I'm dumb. I thought that was a much longer clip. So, and again, it seems like they're applying his current mental status to 7 years ago to say that he didn't violate the Espionage Act because he's really old now. How does that work? That's not how that works. So sorry, I played that twice. This is a longer clip. I want to play this whole thing, but the way he starts this off, it's the first few seconds, the first like 30 seconds of this. I'm going to pause it after because it's really telling. Joe Biden's sort of this isn't him reading off the teleprompter. This is his actual reaction to the question, and he's so pompous and like flippant with. We'll let it play, and I'll pause it and explain afterwards.
So how do you reassure them if that is the reason for their questioning, that the former president will not return, or that his political movement, which is still very strong, will not once again take power in the United States?
Oh, yeah? Well, he says his political movement is really strong, and he's like, oh, yeah? Trying to... Wait, are you saying that the Trump's political movement isn't very strong? Are you joking? Have what? MAGA is like a Trump's like a rock star. Trump is an absolute rock star. If you see him walk into a UFC event, see Biden walk into a UFC event, how many cheers he'll get. Did you see Trump walk into a stadium? Anywhere Trump goes, it's the dude's a freaking rock star, and his reaction there is like, oh yeah? And that's not what he was reacting to. He's more reacting to like, oh, you think we can't keep him out of office? We can. This is, to me, that reaction, that whole reaction was just like, well, you know, I have the power of everything behind me, intelligence agencies, big tech, the corporate press, all that. That was how I read into that.
Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by if he does run, making sure he under legitimate efforts of our Constitution does not become the next president again.
Okay, so that's exactly what they're trying to do. Legitimate efforts. So that's what they're trying to do. They're throwing all these bogus lawsuits at him, the Fannie Mae stuff, the Gene Carroll crap, or he was never convicted of rape, but now they're calling him a rapist. It's so transparently corrupt, and the weaponization of the judicial system against him, against your political rival. This is straight up Soviet era crap that he's doing, and he's super flippant about it. Like he's not coming straight out and saying, well, yeah, we're gonna throw a bunch of bogus lawsuits at him, and we're gonna use the intelligence agencies and collude with big tech and the corporate press to control the narrative. He's not saying all that, but that's exactly what they're doing.
President again.
Does not become the next president again.
This is an ABC News special report. Now reporting, David Muir.
Good evening. We're coming on the air a bit earlier than usual because of breaking news at this hour. A grand jury here in New York City has just handed up an indictment against former President Donald Trump.
An Atlanta-based grand jury indicted former President Donald Trump.
Former President Donald Trump, the leading candidate for the 2024 Republican nomination, was indicted today.
All elections in our nation are administered by the states.
So contrast this with the classified documents that Biden wasn't supposed to have at all, had in 7 different locations. He's admitting to his ghostwriter that he had him knowingly, and he was using him for some sort of memoirs. All of that stuff violates the Espionage Act. And then they're going after Trump, who could declassify documents, and they're going after him for insanely frivolous stuff. This is maddening.
Historic first, the Colorado Supreme Court disqualifying President Trump.
We have breaking news this hour as Maine's top election official has now disqualified Donald Trump from the ballot in that state.
Illinois now has removed Trump from the primary ballot.
An Illinois judge has removed Trump from the primary ballot.
This news just breaking into us in the last couple of minutes. Groups of voters now in 2 more states, in both Illinois and Massachusetts, are now filing motions to try to get former President Trump off their 2024 primary ballots.
Moments ago, in the case of Trump versus Anderson, the justice is ruling in Donald Trump's favor, saying Colorado has no right to keep his name off the ballot this November.
Good morning, Anna. We've learned that it was a 9-0 decision.
The high court just...
So the Gene Carroll thing didn't seem to affect him at all. The whole Fannie Willis, Alvin Bragg thing. Fannie Willis just made herself look ridiculous because of, her campaign funds and all that crap, but nothing sticking to him. So this is, I think there's no way they let him into office. You guys, they're going to go through all these efforts to try and do it the legitimate constitutional way. And if these efforts fail, I fear something much worse that they will try to do.
Said moments ago that Mr. Trump can stay on this year's presidential ballot.
But the Supreme Court just moments ago saying Donald Trump will remain on the ballot.
State Senate Committee is going to be holding a hearing later today with the attorney who exposed the alleged affair set to testify after being subpoenaed.
This whole thing is evolving into perhaps an ethical dumpster fire.
Oh, come on, we're in a house of God. First, simmer down. I want to thank Commissioner Kavanaugh and Chief Hodgins for that recognition.
See, Trump is a damn rock star. However you feel about him, people love the man. And that MAGA movement is strong for sure.
For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the reward.
Okay, enough of that. I'm not gonna keep playing that because it's sort of annoying me. But you guys get the picture. Weaponization of the judicial system, weaponization of government, weaponization of the intelligence agencies, weaponization of big tech, the corporate press, all of it weaponized against Trump and the supporters. They're making lists, you guys. And if you're speaking out against this crap, you're probably on a list. Just saying. That's all I'm saying, guys. So, and just a quick reminder of it. The black vote went for Biden in 2020. Well, I don't think that's going to happen again. This is a quick reminder of what Joe Biden thinks of black people.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
No.
Vote for Joe Biden, or you ain't black.
The craziest part about that whole situation was that Charlemagne didn't even say anything about it. He just continued talking. He didn't even call him out. It was quite insane. It was kind of nuts that he just didn't even call him out. Just kept going. That was crazy. So, yep, that is the Joe Biden Donald Trump situation currently, and yeah, it's not looking good. So, all right, we'll keep going. Fannie Willis, Fannie Mae. Did I say Fannie Mae? I didn't mean to. Yeah, I meant to say Fannie Willis. Sorry if I said Fannie Mae. Let's see. All right. Okay, I got a little bit more time. I can at least get into one more segment here. What do I want to talk about? I think I'm going to leave Haiti for tomorrow, actually, because there's actually more digging I want to do into the situation. Yeah, I think there's a lot more shenanigans going on there than we think, you guys. So, you know what? This will be my last segment that I'll talk about. Let's talk about the Tate brothers. So, they are trying to go after Andrew and Tristan Tate again. Did you guys hear about this? They're trying to extradite him from Romania to the UK. And whatever you think about these guys, the Cathedral certainly wants to shut them up. That is for sure. Let's see. What's super cringe? Danger? You talking about Joe Biden saying you ain't black if you don't vote for him? Let's see. Let's talk about the Andrew Tate stuff. So Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have been arrested again by Romanian authorities under a UK warrant. They were arrested over sexual misconduct in two separate cases from 2012 to 2015. Okay, so whether you guys think they're guilty or not of whatever this is that they're charging them with, and yeah, there's been some fairly serious allegations against the guys, but has anybody from Epstein's Island been arrested yet? Like, contrast this with how they're going after the freaking satanic pedophiles that are running our country. They're going after the Tate brothers. They want to do to them what they've done to Julian Assange. They want to put them away, let them rot, and make examples of them. And however you feel about the guys, I personally feel that Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate are a net positive for men. And might not be might not be a popular thing to say among the ladies, but I think that in the society we live in today, with a lot of like what's in our food and how it's lowering testosterone, but how soft and weak men have gotten, you sort of need over the top, tough, strong men telling men to sack up and stop being such bitches. Like that's kind of what the Tates stand for me is, are they super over the top? Yeah, they're also kind of hysterical, but yeah, let's see. Let's play this video. They did the whole perp walk thing with them. So that's going on. So here's Andrew Tate talking about this is from Dr. Anastasia Marie Lupus. That sounds like a fake name, but let's see what she has to say. Andrew Tate predicts his targeted attack by the UK 2 days ago. As we speak right now, the UK is trying to put him in jail. So let's listen to him talking about this. His accent is so confusing to me. It's like, where are you from? Oh crap! I did it again, didn't I? Sorry, guys. I got to start this over. I messed up. All right, here we go. I was just sitting in front of you drinking a Red Bull, being silent. Sorry about that.
As we speak right now, the UK is trying to put me in jail. England, because Romania has failed, so England has picked up. And England's coming up to me with all this garbage, and they're going to try and charge me soon with some imaginary crimes.
Maybe it's why they'll drop the documentary.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Of course, because you have to poison the public mind.
Yep. To believe that you are this evil guy.
Right? So the UK is trying to put me in jail. And I'm saying this now on this podcast. Everyone listen to me. The UK is coming next. Romania's failed. UK's picked it up. And as
All right. Okay. Let's keep going here. Let's go over to Censored Man on Twitter here. This is kind of a funny clip. It's funny because Tristan's like doodling in the background. He's like drawing a doodle on the board. But let's listen to what they have to say here. Why doesn't this like Andrew? Why don't you have a shirt on? Why are you shirtless? To be fair, I mean, if I was that jacked, I'd probably be shirtless a lot too. So then the reason that I'm going to, the reason I want to at least give him the give him the benefit of the doubt here and let him tell his side of the story is this whole Me Too movement and believe all women thing. It's well, should men not be believed at all? A long time ago, back in 2007, I was accused of rape by a girl. Not to the authorities. She just told all my friends and everybody that I raped her. Anybody that knows me knows that there's certain men that aren't even capable of rape because your dick won't work, because that's just not how your brain's wired. And the thing is, when a girl accuses you of rape, it ruins your life. It's the worst cloud that could ever be hanging over your head. And well, unfortunately, insane cluster B women have weaponized that, and lots of men have been falsely accused of things that they did not do. I'm not saying that Andrew didn't do any of these things that he was accused of, but he might not have. He might just, I'll leave it there. I know there's possibly evidence in the contrary. It's probably a mix of things, but yeah, everybody should be allowed their chance to speak and their opportunity to tell their side of the story. So that's what he's doing there. Sorry, I keep cutting him off. This is also what happened to Assange. They said they tried to label Assange as a rapist when they said he did something called stealthing. That's when a dude's having a sex with a girl and he starts off with a condom and removes it mid-sex without telling the girl and continues. That's what they have accused Assange of, but he's not even allowed to see the light of day, and we haven't heard from him in God knows how long. just the way he's describing the scene, talking off the cuff, being very direct about what he's saying, it does not strike me as somebody that's lying. So make of that what you will, but I tend to believe Andrew Tate there. So sorry, ladies, if that bothers you, but yeah, this definitely seems like a political attack that they're trying to silence this guy and make an example of him. Did I do it again? I did. Holy crap. I am horrible. I'm a rusty podcaster, you guys. I've been out of the game too long. I guess I got to play this whole thing over again. That was like a 2-minute clip too. So yeah, I was just sitting there the whole time, not playing anything. My bad. Jeez. We're going to play it again.
They must have heard, our matrix attack in Romania has failed. So we now need a matrix attack against them in the UK, but we have a big problem. They haven't even lived in England for 10 years.
I haven't lived in England for a decade.
So how do we drum up cases? Well, we do have a case which we've already closed. Let me give you the rundown of this case. In 2012, a girl got very drunk in my apartment. I've said this publicly before. She drank too much alcohol and threw up everywhere. I then kicked her out of the house and said, get out. You made a mess and you've been sick everywhere. She then said, you owe me money. She started texting me, threatening me, saying if I don't give her £5,000, that she will go to the police
and ruin your life.
I saved all the text messages from this liar. I was then arrested by the British police and thrown in jail on this girl's lies. And the CPS took her phone and found her not only texting me and threatening me and trying to extort me for money, but also planning with her friend how to lie to the police so that we will go to jail. The CPS then threw this case away. Case closed, no further action, innocent men, done. Then this matrix attack happens in Romania, and this girl thinks, I can get money. So she sends a little dork. She hired her lawyer, who's a DNG. He's about this tall. And he runs up to my gate and says, my clients want £100,000. Can you give us money and then we'll leave you alone? So I'm not giving you money. It was $5,000. Now it's $100,000. I didn't do anything to you. Go away. So then he's run back to UK and convinced the UK, because we're going to win this case, to turn a case which was closed, which then went into a civil case where they were begging me for money, into criminal charges in an attempt to extradite / remand us in perma jail from an event that I was already cleared of any wrongdoing back in 2012. They reopened it to try and put us in jail because they had nothing else. I was They must.
All right. Does not strike me as somebody that's making up a story as he goes there, but let's continue. So this is from Colin Rugg. I'm not going to play the video because the audio kind of sucks on this one, so I'll just read what Andrew Tate said. So yeah, this is from Colin Rugg. He says, Andrew Tate speaks out after the Bucharest Court of Appeals ruled he and his brother can be extradited to Britain to face sexual aggression charges. Okay. Tate told reporters that he wouldn't bow down to the Satanists in the West. I don't think many people in Romania understand, but in the West, in the countries that are owned by the Satanists with a certain level of fame, you either put on a dress or you go to jail. And I'm happy to make my choice, which is jail every time. My soul is not for sale. Like, this is why I feel like he's a net positive for men. It's just, yeah, do not bend the knee. And what he's referring to is this whole, they call it a humiliation ritual that all celebrities in Hollywood or whatever have to go through some sort of humiliation ritual in order to reach a certain level of fame. That's the idea behind this. And that's why you see so many men dressing up in dresses and, you know, just doing wacky off the wall stuff. Is there any truth to that? I mean, with everything that's come out recently, you know, Epstein, now all this P. Diddy stuff that's come out. Yeah, I tend to believe this. Like, is Hollywood and the music industry secretly controlled by people that want to have them under their thumb by making them do humiliation rituals? Yeah, I tend to believe it. Let's keep going. This is Andrew Tate talking about the humiliation ritual. One of them, at least. So he's talking about John Cena at the Oscars a couple nights ago. Did you guys see this? John Cena comes out. Now, I don't know.
I want to make something clear.
I don't know. Oh, this is the one where Tristan's so weird. He's in the background doodling on the board. It's just funny. I will say Tristan Tate called me a king a few days ago, and that was kind of cool. And he followed me, so that was fun. But yeah, what's he doing in the background? He's just doodling. But John Cena, I don't know if this is humiliation ritual because John Cena's always been super weird, and he's always just done super weird stuff. And it almost seems like he likes dressing up in different characters to be really funny. So I don't know, but you've certainly seen these humiliation rituals with other people. So let's listen to Andrew talk about it.
I want to make something clear. I was saying this morning on Twitter how John Cena yesterday at the Oscars was doing his humiliation ritual to satisfy his gay paymasters. And everybody's saying, oh, maybe he's just promoting a movie. Maybe. Let me tell you something. I don't care what movie I'm in. You could not convince me to do that. You could not convince me to do anything fruity or weird.
You can't convince me to do anything fruity or weird. So he's just funny the way he talks. But I mean, I'm with him on this. Like, you're not going to get me to do any of this crap. There's no way. It's like, wait, you want me to do what? Yeah, no, I don't need that fame. I don't need that movie, whatever you're trying to hold over my head. Get out of here. Kick rocks. What are you guys, weird?
It doesn't matter what movie I'm in because there's no need. I can promote it other ways. I won't do it because my principles are too strong. So
look what Tristan drew in the background. And he's always got this look on his face. It's just funny. I'm sorry. These guys make me laugh. And Tristan Tate is just funny.
To say he's only promoting a movie is still agreeing with me. You're saying he's promoting his movie for money because he sold a soul to his gay paymaster.
Well, he was pretending to be an OnlyFans guy as the character of the movie and releasing OnlyFans content.
I want to make some.
What is that accent? Where the hell are they from? It's just such a strange accent. I don't know. Anyway, we'll keep going. Okay. Go over to end wokeness here. Yeah, end wokeness just makes the point, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate just got arrested again before a single client got arrested, before a single Epstein client got arrested, So I mean, that's the thing, is all of these rich satanic pedophiles that went to this island and did horrible, unspeakable things. No one's been arrested. And then they got these super weak charges that they're trying to go after Andrew and Tristan Tate super hard for. And it's just such a contrast. It's like they know who the clients were. They know all this stuff. It was a blackmail ring. Again, I say it every episode. Everybody needs to read One Nation Under Blackmail, Whitney Webb's book. Then what do we got here? Okay, so this just another tweet pulled up from the Hodge twins. They say Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate were arrested again on some made-up charges from 12 years ago. The elites want everybody locked up that goes against their lies. Yeah, like that is really what all this stuff is looking like. So, and this stuff seems to be slowly getting worse and worse and worse year after year after year. And if it progresses on this course, it's going to be them going after regular folks, like just regular folks that post stuff online. Like, go back to the whole Twitter file stuff. All right, I'll stop sharing this. That was my last segment for the night, I think. But you go back to all the Twitter file stuff, where they were seriously suspending accounts with like 150 followers because they said something. They called Joe Biden a pee-pee poo-poo face, and dudes from the DOJ would hit up Twitter and they would be like, hey, I want, Johnny Butthole, I want his account taken down because he called Joe Biden a pee-pee poo-poo face. And they're like, okay, right on it, sir. And they just did it. Fast forward 10 years. They're going to be, hey, that dude, Steve McClellan over there on Twitter, he said, I don't know. He said, end the Fed. So we want to put him in jail for 10 years. Like, that's where this is heading. It's It sounds crazy and it sounds hyperbolic, but that is the exact trajectory that we're on. We are on a trajectory of anybody with a certain political affiliation is going to be targeted and gone after legally, and they're going to try to put us in jail. Like that really is the trajectory that we're on. Might sound crazy right now. Fast forward a few years. If this doesn't get stopped somehow, that's what's ultimately going to end up happening. And I'm going to keep talking. And yeah, I'm going to make myself a target. I'm just going to keep talking. So, but I'm not going to keep talking tonight. That I think is all I'm going to get into tonight. Check in with the chat. All right. Pretty quiet tonight. Yeah, I'm not going to get into Haiti. There was a bunch of other stuff that I wanted to get into. We'll talk about Haiti tomorrow night. And I'll try to only do an hour tomorrow night. I'll probably have some California stuff I need to catch up on too. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure what we're going to get into tomorrow night, but I will definitely get into the Haiti stuff. And there's like a longer video that I want to play from some people that have been looking into the Haiti stuff for a very long time. But that is all I'm going to get into tonight. Northside, Nate Pickens, Danger, CC Pino, Wally World, all you guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Before we get out of here, you know how we do it. We got to read a joke from the greatest book ever written, The Truth About Chuck Norris. Thing is, this book is getting beat up because I like to slam it on the ground at the end of every show. This thing's I broke the spine on it. I'm gonna have to tape it back together or something. So, all right. Oh yeah, no, I can't read that. I already read that one. Okay. Okay. All right. You guys ready for the Chuck Norris joke of the evening? I will be back here tomorrow night at 6:30. Thank you so much for hanging out. Before we get out of here, here's the Chuck Norris joke of the evening. All right. Chuck Norris will never be fully male nor female. Doctors once asked him which he preferred. He gave them an ad for a total gym. And on that note, stay CaliBased. That one kind of sucked. Night, folks.